From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang, and I'm your host, Leo Magpayo. Typhoon Uwan continued to weaken as it exited Luzon early Monday, but the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, maintained signal number 4 over 12 areas in northern and central Luzon due to its lingering threat. The former super typhoon made landfall in Dinalungan, Aurora at 9:10 Sunday evening, bringing destructive winds and heavy rains. According to Pagasa's 5 o'clock Monday morning bulletin, Uwan was located over the coastal waters of Bacnotan, La Union at 4 o'clock in the morning, moving west-northwest at 25 kilometers per hour. It packed maximum sustained winds of 150 kilometers per hour near the center and gusts reaching up to 230 kilometers per hour. Areas under signal number 4 are western Nueva Vizcaya, including Bayumbong, Ambagyo, Bagabag, Villaverde, Cayapa, Santa Fe, Aritao, Bambang, and Solano. Southwestern Kalinga, including Tinglayan, Pasil, and Lubuagan. Western Mountain Province, including Besao, Tadian, Sagada, Bauco, Sadanga, Bontoc, Sabangan, and Barlig. Southern Abra, including Tubo, Luba, Bolinay, Villaviciosa, Pilar, Dagueoman, Bocloc, Manabo, San Isidro, San Quintin, and Pidigan. Western Ifugao, including Lagawe, Mayoyao, Hongduan, Asipulo, Banawe, Hingyon, Kiangan, Lamot, and Tinok. The whole province of Benguet. Central and Southern Ilocos Sur, including Narvacan, Narbuquel, Santa Maria, Burgos, San Esteban, Santiago, Banayoyo, Lidlida, San Emilio, Quirino, Cervantes, Gregorio del Pilar, Sigay, Suyo, Alilem, Salcedo, Galimuyod, Candon City, Santa Lucia, Santa Cruz, Tagidin, and Sugpon. The provinces of La Union and Pangasinan. Northern Nueva Ecija, including Caranglan, Lupao, Talugtog, Cuyapo, and Nampicuan. Northern Tarlac, including Ramos, Paniqui, Anao, San Manuel, Moncada, Camiling, and San Clemente, and northern Zambales, including Santa Cruz and Candelaria. Pagasa warned that heavy rainfall, severe winds, and storm surge may still be experienced far from the landfall point or center track and even in areas outside the forecast confidence cone. Uwan is expected to continue moving west-northwestward over the next 12 hours. Between Tuesday and Wednesday, it may re-intensify as it travels northwest to northward over the West Philippine Sea. By Wednesday afternoon or evening, the typhoon is forecast to shift northeastward toward the Taiwan Strait, where it may weaken further due to unfavorable conditions. Landfall over western Taiwan is expected by Thursday.
Dateline Malacañang.
The death toll from Super Typhoon Uwan has risen to 2. Based on the latest data from the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, released 6:30 Monday morning, one fatality was recorded in Catanduanes and another in Catbalogan, Samar. OCD Deputy Administrator for Administration, Assistant Secretary Bernardo Rafaelito Alejandro IV said the victim in Catanduanes drowned, while the casualty in Samar was killed after being hit by a collapsed building. The number of reported injuries remains at 2. Verification of reported casualties due to Uwan is still ongoing. Meanwhile, a total of 426,000 families, equivalent to 1.4 million individuals, have been affected by the super typhoon Uwan with international name Fongwong. According to Alejandro, the affected families are from the National Capital Region or NCR, Ilocos, Cagayan Valley, and Central Luzon. They also include those from Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol, Eastern Visayas, Central Visayas, and the Negros Island region. The highest number of evacuees remains in the Bicol region, followed by Eastern Visayas and Calabarzon. Around 92,000 families or 318,000 individuals are currently taking shelter in approximately 6,000 evacuation centers.
Dateline Malacañang.
The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, on Sunday reported that the number of transmission lines affected by Super Typhoon Uwan rose to more than 18. This was down from the 20 earlier advisory, where NGCP had restored the Babatngon-Arado 69 kV line, Layeco 2, and the Amlan-San Carlos 69 kV line, Noreco 1. Affected transmission lines in Luzon were Pitogo-Mulanay 69 kV or Quezelco 1, Naga-Lagonoy 69 kV, Casureco 2 and 4, Naga-Libmanan 69 kV, Casureco 1, Naga-Tinambak 69 kV, Casureco 2, Nara-Iriga 69 kV, Casureco 3, Tiwi-Sipawa 69 kV, Aleco, Daraga Santo Domingo 69 kV, Aleco, Daraga Legazpi 69 kV, also from Aleco, Daraga Ligao 69 kV, another one from Aleco, Sorsogon Bulan 69 kV, Soreco 1 and 2, Daraga Sorsogon 69 kV, Soreco 1 and 2, Labo Paracale 69 kV, Canoreco, Batangas Taisan 69 kV or Batelec 2 and Meralco, Naga Concepcion 69 kV or Casureco 2. In the Visayas, Paranas Kinapondan 69 kV Esamelco, Calbayog Bliss 69 kV or Samelco 1, Palanas Catarman Allen Lawang 69 kV or Nasamelco, and the Calbayog Palanas Cara 69 kV or Samelco 1. NGCP also reported that two 138 kV, two 230 kV, and two 350 kV lines were unavailable, though their locations were not disclosed. Meantime, the Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, reported that around 184,000 customers in Laguna, Cavite, Metro Manila, and parts of Batangas, Quezon, and Bulacan experienced power outages as of 6 o'clock Sunday evening. In a statement, Meralco appealed for patience as it prioritizes the safety of both customers and crews on the ground. It added that the company assures affected customers that power will be restored as soon as the weather conditions permit.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has directed the Department of Transportation, or DOTR, to provide free rides on Metro Rail Transit, or MRT Line 3, Light Rail Transit, or LRT Line 1, and LRT 2 throughout November 10 and 11 in response to the severe weather brought by Super Typhoon Uwan. In addition to train services, the Office of the President, Philippine Coast Guard or PCG, Philippine Ports Authority or PPA, and the Office of Senator Erwin Tulfo will deploy buses offering free rides on Monday. Routes covered include Quiapo to Fairview, Quiapo to Angono, Lawton to Alabang, Rojas Boulevard to Sucat, and Taft to Cubao. The free bus service may be extended to Tuesday depending on passenger needs. To support relief efforts, the PPA has waived RoRo terminal fees for government and private vehicles transporting rescue equipment and relief goods. Local airlines have also suspended cargo fees for aid deliveries. Acting Transportation Secretary Giovanni Lopez has instructed the Toll Regulatory Board to lift toll charges for vehicles involved in emergency and rescue operations using expressways. Food and water are being distributed to stranded passengers at ports, docks, and terminals. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP, continues to monitor airports impacted by the typhoon, with all affected flights either canceled or diverted. The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has also prepared patrol vehicles for deployment. LTO Chief Marcos Lacanilao said these units are ready to escort trucks carrying essential supplies to ensure safe and timely delivery to affected communities.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang has ordered the suspension of government work and classes across key regions in Luzon and Visayas as Super Typhoon Uwan with international name Fong Wong continued to bring destructive winds and heavy rainfall. Under Memorandum Circular, or MC number 106, issued Sunday, government offices will be closed on Monday in the National Capital Region, or NCR, Cordillera Administrative Region, and Regions 1, 2, 3, 4A, 4B, 5, and 8. Classes at all levels are suspended on November 10 and 11 in the same regions, as well as in Regions 6, 7, and the Negros Island region. Essential agencies providing basic, health, and emergency services are directed to remain fully operational. Malacañang added that other government offices in affected areas may implement alternative work arrangements to maintain critical functions. Local governments outside the listed regions may issue their own suspension orders as needed. Private sector work arrangements will be left to the discretion of company heads. The directive takes immediate effect, with President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. placing the entire government on full alert.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has placed the country under a one-year state of national calamity following the devastation caused by Typhoon Tino, or Kalmegi, based on the recommendation of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC. The declaration, formalized through Proclamation number 1077 and signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on November 5th, aims to accelerate rescue, relief, recovery, and rehabilitation efforts in affected areas. Under the proclamation, the government may enforce price ceilings on essential goods, curb hoarding and profiteering, and extend no-interest loans to severely impacted communities. It also authorizes national and local governments to utilize emergency funds with greater flexibility. The state of calamity will remain in effect for a year unless lifted earlier by the President. According to the NDRRMC, Typhoon Tino brought torrential rains, widespread flooding, and landslides across multiple regions, resulting in significant loss of life and property damage. President Marcos ordered all government agencies to sustain critical disaster response operations to protect lives, minimize health risks, and ensure public safety. Agencies were also directed to implement recovery programs, restore basic services and infrastructure, support local governments, and coordinate with private and international partners in accordance with existing laws and regulations.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, the death toll from Typhoon Tino has climbed to 224, according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, or NDRRMC, on Sunday, as the storm left widespread flooding across the Visayas. Cebu recorded the highest number of fatalities with 158, followed by Negros Occidental with 27, 20 in Negros Oriental, 8 in Caraga, 3 in Capiz, 2 each in Southern Leyte and Leyte, and 1 fatality each in the provinces of Antique, Bohol, Guimaras, and Iloilo. The number of missing persons has reached 109, 57 from Cebu, 42 from Negros Occidental, and 10 from Negros Oriental. Injuries were reported at 526 individuals, with Cebu accounting for 454 cases. Leyte recorded 41 injuries. Negros Occidental had 28, while Surigao del Norte and Surigao del Sur reported 2 and 1 respectively. The NDRMC noted that all figures remain subject to further validation and verification. Typhoon Tino has affected 946,660 families, or 3,330,315 individuals across 7,269 towns in 8 regions nationwide. As of Sunday, 58,394 families were taking shelter in 1,381 evacuation centers, while 114,860 families were receiving aid outside these facilities. Authorities also reported that 74,781 houses were damaged in 7 regions as damage assessments continue to determine the full impact of the typhoon.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has approved a new trigger-based rice tariff system that will automatically adjust import duties based on global rice prices, aiming to stabilize local prices and support Filipino farmers. Under Executive Order, or EO number 105, signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on November 7th, the current 15% tariff on all rice imports, whether within or outside quota, will remain in effect until December 31st, 2025. Starting January 1st, 2026, the tariff will adjust by 5 percentage points for every 5% change in world rice prices within a range of 15 to 35%. Malacañang said this mechanism replaces the flat rate system under EO 62 series of 2024, striking a balance between consumer protection and fair farm gate prices. The order states that the automatic tariff mechanism aims to ensure price stability for Filipino consumers while safeguarding fair income for local farmers. To oversee the policy, President Marcos established an interagency group on rice tariff adjustment. The group will set trigger levels, monitor global rice price trends, and issue certifications when tariff changes are needed. The interagency body includes representatives from the National Economic and Development Authority, Departments of Agriculture, Trade and Industry, Finance, and the Office of the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs. The palace said the group will ensure timely, data-driven tariff adjustments while coordinating broader policy efforts to maintain supply stability and prevent speculative pricing. This move reinforces the government's food security agenda amid recent rice price volatility.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has signed Executive Order or EO number 104, temporarily reducing the import duty on tin mill black plates or TMBPs to 0% for 3 years to support the domestic tin plate and tin-free steel industries that supply the country's canned food manufacturers. Signed on November 6 and released to the public on Saturday, EO 104 suspends the current 3% tariff on TMBP to help stabilize supply and pricing of canned goods, strengthen local manufacturing, and enhance the competitiveness of Philippine food processors in both local and export markets. The order follows the August 20 endorsement of the Economy and Development or ED Council, which recommended lowering the Most Favored Nation or MFN tariff rate on TMBPs. The Department of Economy, Planning and Development or DepDev is tasked to submit its findings and recommendations to the President 1 year after implementation, including market analysis and monitoring results. Currently, there is no domestic production of TMBP or any available substitute in the country. TMBP is the key raw material used in producing tin plates and tin-free steel, essential components in the canned food industry. The ED Council said the temporary tariff suspension is expected to revitalize local steel manufacturing, reduce production costs, stabilize supply chains, generate jobs, and attract investments. EO 104 will take effect 30 days after its publication in the Official Gazette or a newspaper of general circulation.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download Evox PBS Receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our post as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.